All right, we are back for another episode of the Stronger Together podcast experience, and really looking at the photos in the introduction. There's a lot of people there that I'm just excited to see. Both most recently at an event, but an event that's coming up in New Orleans. And one of the things I've really prided myself on is trying to learn from so many people. And way back when, a few years ago, I had a chance to meet our next guest and learn a little bit very early on, and then saw all the great work that she's doing. And I definitely want to learn more from her. And it's in a realm that I have not really had a lot of experience in. And so I'm going to welcome in Amanda Fox now, and we're going to just chat a little about all the great things you've done, from writing children's books to writing books to support teachers to presenting all over the world. So welcome in.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here tonight, and I don't know what you're talking about. A realm that you have little experience in. You're all over the place.
Yes, but the work that you do is just really, and I'll let our viewers see, but it's different than things that I've been involved with and things I've learned a lot from, and I really, really appreciate it. So for those out there watching or listening who have not had a chance to see your work, where are you coming from? What is your role? And a little bit of your background in this field.
So I am a former classroom teacher. I taught for about 10 years in the classroom, and I've taught just about everything except for math.
Okay.
Yeah, so science, STEM, STEAM. I even I headed up a K through 8 computer science program in Dallas for a little bit. I
Wow.
live in Louisville, Kentucky now. I started
Okay.
Steampunks when I moved here. Prior to here, I was in Savannah, Georgia. I helped start a STEM school, which got actually
Wow.
recognized by FETC for the STEM Excellence Award 2 years. So, like two separate years, they won the
Wow,
award for
that's
the best
exciting.
STEM. Yeah, and I've been involved with FETC since about 2013. So
Wow.
I've been going for 9 years. Um,
Were you there when it was Florida Educational Technology Conference? Was it
yes,
always?
yeah, yeah. So it was always in Orlando. So I looked forward to go down, do FETC, then go to
Sure.
Universal or Disney. So it was kind of like a folded in. So it was in Miami this past time. They started switching it up, and then we're in New Orleans this year, so it's exciting. I was in New Orleans for ISTE back in June.
Yep.
So I'm not going in blind this time. I have some good recommendations on foodie spots for any of those who are watching who are diehard foodies, and just fun
So
places to go, and also tips on Ubers and travel.
So when you were down there for ISTE, did you have any jambalaya or did you have any kind of the
Oh,
southern food?
so I did the true New Orleans style shrimp and grits.
Oh, geez.
I did the fried gator tail, gator bites.
Oh, whoa, that's interesting. Any sauce on it or just straight up?
They had this interesting orange, like spicy sauce. It wasn't remoulade, but it similar. But all gator tail is not made equally, so be very careful where you get it from. There's
Okay,
some.
that's interesting. That's a line I've never heard before, but hey,
So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm at Amanda Fox Populi, at Amanda Fox STEM, everywhere else. If you look at my content, it's not just ed tech and Canvas stuff, which I'll get into in a second, but there's a lot of food stuff on my page. But
oh,
going back, once I moved to Louisville, Kentucky,
okay,
I started Steampunks. COVID happened, and they weren't doing after school programs. I was in like 14 schools when the pandemic occurred. So
oh
all
wow,
of my
okay,
after school programs got canceled, and I went back in the classroom. And in 2019, I started my own publishing company called Meta Inc. Books, or Meta Inc. Publishing, and the idea was to create kids books that were interwoven with augmented reality in order to appeal to kids and have them coming back. I call it literacy, it's literacy, putting the AR in literacy. There's an AR in there
yeah,
together.
no, that makes a lot of sense, and that was where I first met you when I was down in Austin, and you wrote Markertown, and
Yes,
and
yeah.
I'd love, you were talking about children's books, and I'd love for you to share what this is about and kind of the background of that.
So just to finish that up, my company merged with Teacher Goals Publishing in August. So now we're Teacher Goals Publishing. But yes, so Marker Town was originally published through Meta Ink Books, and it's a story that was inspired by my kids. I have 4 kids, ranging from 5 to 14. So I
Oh,
stay.
wow. So how
Yeah,
much coffee do you drink? Are you like a coffee addict? Like, I got these 4 kids, I'm going to be.
I just invested an embarrassingly large amount in a really nice espresso machine. So,
Perfect.
yeah. So
Does it have like a nickname, like Steel Magnolia or something fun like that? Just big.
No, I haven't gotten that far.
Okay.
I might just call it Deep Thought, and tribute to the Hitchhiker's Guide, the computer Deep Thought, because it allows me to have deep thoughts after I consume a few.
Okay.
So, yeah. But Marker Town, in 2017, we had gone school shopping, and we bought, everybody gets a brand new pack of markers. Well, within 20 minutes, I go down, there's these beautiful drawings everywhere, but then there's all these markers without their caps. So it inspired me to write a story, and the original title was A Marker's Funeral.
Oh boy.
I quickly decided that probably was a horrible title for a kid's book. It doesn't.
Yeah, I would say that's one that you definitely wouldn't want. Yeah. Marker's Funeral, Markers in a Swamp. Marker at the trunk of a tree. You don't want any of those.
Yeah, so it's fun when I read in classrooms. I'm like, and then I came up with the idea of A Marker's Funeral. And I look at the kids and they're like, that's not the title. I'm like, that's not the title. I'm like, because it's a horrible title.
That's not coming off the shelf.
Yeah. So in the book, it's the end of the first day of school. And there's a marker who loses her cap. And she's a glitter marker. And she hangs out with the glitter markers in the glitter box. And her friend turns to her and says, sorry, like, you can't come back to the box. You're no longer complete. And, everyone has the art bin in their classroom where the markers with the mismatched tops. And
I'm sure. Absolutely.
So kind of dismayed and rejected, she starts looking for her cap and she can't find it. And she meets a character called Miss Orange on Blue. And
what's her name? Orange on Blue?
Miss Orange on Blue. It's a orange capped marker with a blue body. So she's from
there she is on the left, right?
She is. She's from Castaway Cove. It's where all the markers, that are Motley markers kind of live now.
Okay.
And she tells Glitter, the marker who's lost her cap, she's like, you don't need your cap. There's so much more you can do. So kind of swoops in and takes her through this process of re-envisioning a life without a cap. Like, just, it's not that important. So what? You can't hang out with were they really your friends?
Right.
Come with us. You'll there's a lot of people you should meet. You're gonna love them. And I don't want to spoil the end, but it kind of takes
you don't want to do that.
Journey of like rediscovery and redefining who she is or who she could be without her cap. So, and who she meets along the way, and just the life lessons that you take from those people, and bad circumstances. Like there's always a lesson.
No, that's awesome. One of the questions I always ask when someone's writing a children's book, because it's either a merry-go-round that the story goes round and round, or a roller coaster. What does this story take us on? An adventure, or kind of just going around and learning about each of the characters?
It's kind of both.
Oh,
so it's a roller coaster of emotion, because like as she goes through like the beginning, just that very dynamic character growth of starting off like admiring the work that she made on a successful first day of school, to the loss of the cap, to to redefining who she is. But you do learn a little bit about the characters. I don't know, maybe a merry-go-round, because it kind of at the end it kind of brings you back full fold.
Okay, well, I like it. I think it's a combination of both. It's just pick it up. I've had a chance to read it, like I said, when that was the first time that we had a chance to meet, and then since then, and you wrote another book, and I definitely want to dive into the FETC stuff. But I'd love for you to share the work that you did on the Canva Classroom.
Yeah, so the Canva Classroom. So Funny story. I got, well, not funny story, because I've recently got over COVID again. I've had it twice
Oh
now.
my goodness.
I got COVID in February, and I didn't just get like, I have asthma, so I
Okay.
got bad. Like, I was on a nebulizer, and I couldn't go down the stairs without being winded. So I got knocked out of work for, you know, after about 3 weeks. They're like, "Well, are you coming back?" I went back to the doctor, and the doctor, it was March at this point, and they're like, just here's a doctor's note. Just tell them,
Right.
you can't go back yet. So I
Here it
said,
is. At
yeah.
that point, just take your magic 8 ball and shake it. Be like, here's what it is today. Here's what it is today. Wrap me in a blanket and let me just get better.
So what I could do is I could write.
Okay.
So I wrote the Canva Classroom over the course of February and March while I had COVID. Now, take in mind the templates that are in it are years of templates that I've used in my classroom. So they're tried and true templates that have been used with students. But in it takes you through Canva for Education, how to set up a Canva for Education or a teacher account, how to manage a classroom, how to use that dashboard to provide feedback to students, and then to shift them from the role of being a consumer to a creator. So it says 42 ultimate templates that rocket student engagement. Really, there's closer to 100 templates in this book. There are only 42 that are highlighted with lesson plans. So you have lesson plans that go with 42 of them that are also DOK aligned. So it looks at the depth of knowledge, like the tasks and the ask that we're having students, where they're performing at, and after unpacking that standard.
No,
So
that's awesome. And I've recently started to use Canva a little bit more. I had a few of the Canva team come on the work that I do with Codebreaker and showed me a couple of the templates. I've been doing them ever since. And I had, the infographics is where I've really started to try to really take hold of it. And one of the things I was joking with one Scott Noons, who was that I said, I feel like this big blooming onion where I started as this one idea and it just keeps expanding and expanding. Or the other thing I said, I feel like I'm on like this caffeine high where I get an idea and just go. And it's been a blast. And I know, it's something I've really enjoyed learning more about. And that's why I said that it's work I haven't done and I've learned from you. And now you're going to be at FETC presenting this. So I'd love to turn it over for you for a little bit to showcase some of the great work
absolutely
that you're doing and that you're going to see for all of you watching who are going to be down in New Orleans or New Orleans. How will you pronounce it when you're down there for ISTE?
New Orleans.
Oh, okay. All right.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Nolans.
So I'm going to pull up your screen and have you share a few things and just a quick preview of what we're going to see down in New Orleans.
Yeah. So on Tuesday, I have the Hitchhikers. These are workshops. I have 2 workshops on Tuesday. So these are deep dives. The Hitchhiker's Guide for Educators using Canva to rocket student engagement is more for the beginner. So if you're just getting into Canva or your district just got, education accounts for you and you're super excited about it, come here because I'm going to take you through a lot of the mundane organizational stuff at the beginning. Like there's the small section in the beginning that teaches you how to, to toggle between your personal and your, education account, but also how to organize your folders, how to assign templates to students. It's a lot like Google Classroom. It connects to Google Classroom. It actually connects to like 6 different LMSs or learning management systems. So Schoology, Microsoft Teams, D2L, Canvas. So it doesn't matter where you're at or where your students are at. We're going to jump into that and then go into how to use it for flipped instruction, for regular instruction. I have kind of ditched Google.
Okay. It's okay to say. You don't have to make a face. I think, it's like you're saying to Google, I'll see you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, but I'm going over to Canva now.
Well, and then Canva they just released Canva Docs.
Like I saw that. That is awesome.
We have video creation. we have gift creation. We have closed captions now on your presentations when you do screencasts and you record like a presentation for students. There's closed. Just why? Like,
Right. Why are you gonna
yeah.
turn back at this point? And I think that's great.
Yeah. And then the second workshop is a little more advanced. It's called Stranger Pedagogy, creating virtual and Bitmoji classrooms with Canva.
Okay.
So with that, we're not just gonna go into like a regular here's my daily agenda. I mean, we're gonna talk about like using virtual classrooms to build out curriculum, project-based learning, entire units, and how to leverage Bitmojis to leave feedback for students and make sure that we're assessing students throughout an entire project formatively and constructively.
Okay, that is incredibly important too. Not just
Yes.
having this creative side, but that as well.
Yeah. So just giving them that temperature check. So good formative feedback is informative. So it's informative feedback, and we're allowing students to take that information and make edits and revisions based on what they're working on. So the scaffolds are built in along the way.
For sure.
And then Wednesday, augment your teaching with Quiver Vision. So Quiver Vision.
Quiver Vision. All right. That's like a bonus Scrabble or Boggle word right there. Like what is that?
So Quiver Vision is, so I was their director of education for the last year and a half. And they are an augmented reality education company. So inside of Markertown, there are 5 augmented reality coloring pages.
Oh, wow.
That are educational. So, man, I wish. Okay, so I'm going to switch over real quick.
That's awesome. I'm going to throw their website right down the bottom here. That's great.
So there is a clock page inside of Markertown, and as you see, these markers have plenty of life left. They're still in their prime.
Right.
As of a clock, they can help kids tell time. So when you scan this page, the markers go up to the clock.
All right. So hold on. I'm going to just slow you down for a minute here, because you're saying this like everyone's going to know what you're talking about. So you're like, you scan this. So what device are you using with this when you say scan it?
You're using any handheld mobile tablet or phone.
Okay.
With the Quiver app, and I have a video example. I can drop it. I can show you a page coming to life in a second.
That's amazing.
But the beautiful thing is it has every single one of the pages has guided notes that I made in Canva, obviously, that come with it. So here's a guided notes for the AR experience. So as the page comes to life, you have fact cards that you can click on. And it's telling you what the minute hand is, what the hour hand is, how the blank or blank hand of a clock measures time in blank. So they're kind of like filling this in, and then how many 10s are there in an hour, how many 5s. So there's a math component. These are more of interdisciplinary lessons. And then there's a Quiver clocks page with what time is it, analog versus digital. But the cool thing is in the experience, you have a game that you can play. That at the bottom of the page, it has the time digitally. They have to move the hands on the clock to match the time. And there's another time where they have to select the right digital time to match the hands.
So they do that on their device. On
their device. So anytime they move it, so you don't need the Judy clocks anymore because it's kind of got a built-in Judy clock inside digitally. The Judy clocks are just something you can add that are fun. And we have, there's a cool basketball page too that Quiver has. It's called Brian the Bull. And you just shoot hoops. That's it. So my idea for a great lesson would have students doing a minute to win it. So they have a minute to shoot hoops. They have to see how many baskets they get virtually. They pass it to their partner. Then they do it. Then they have to turn them into.
So you can do this with partners.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you make sure that this doesn't turn into a dumpster fire within a class? Like it turns into like this chaos where that it's not just the daily grind, they're having fun, but it's not out of control. Like that would be the one thing I would ask.
Timers.
timers?
You give them 2 minutes and 30 seconds, a minute to actually
Okay.
play, 30 seconds to get their data down, pass it to their friend. They have to do it, and then you set another timer where they actually have to take their data,
Okay.
and so this is their minute to win it score sheet. Then they have to create 3 word problems to represent the number of points their partner made. So they
And they
turn.
do that again on the device that they have.
They actually do this on the paper. They create the word problems on the paper, but they use the game, and this is just to pull them in. It's March Madness,
Yeah.
and there's visualizing data. Actually, this was last year's March Madness, looking at who they want to win, surveying the class, and then visualizing it, turning it in. So there's a couple different ways you can implement the augmented reality. I'm going. No,
So with that, real quick, because you just said augmented reality. So I've heard the augmented reality versus virtual reality. For those of you people who are just starting to learn some of that, what would be the big difference?
So with augmented reality, you are bringing digital assets into your physical world.
Okay.
With virtual reality, you're immersing yourself in a complete virtual environment.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And there's like this augmented reality continuum. So we're in actual reality.
Okay. That works.
Yeah. And it goes all the way to like augmented virtual reality. Like there's okay. Yeah. So augmented reality is like Pokemon Go.
Okay. Like Pikachu and all that you could, or is that different?
No, it's like Pikachu when you go and you're finding, or if you played the Wizards, the Harry Potter version. Yeah, so that is augmented reality. It's and it's basically there's an anchor point or there's a trigger somewhere in our physical world that unlocks digital content. So the way I like to, it's like Peter Pan. So Peter Pan, when he loses his shadow, the shadow is the digital content. He's in the physical world. There's his shadow. The thread that Tinkerbell uses to sew the shadow on, that is the app or the device we're accessing it with. So in order to unlock that shadow, we have to have the app. So Quiver Vision is great because it's for consumers, but also educators. They have an educator dashboard. And the Quiver app, like when you scan it, I know you're getting a lot of my screen here too.
That's all right.
You're going to hit continue. If you go to quivervision.education, I'll pull that up in a second. But inside of Markertown, there's actually six AR pages. So they create their own flag, and then the flag comes up and it like waves in the wind, and then you can play all the national anthems for the flags at the bottom. So you can extend that activity where they create a flag that represents the theme of Markertown. And then if you extend it in a music class, they could actually create a national anthem for Markertown if they wanted to, using digital media, like GarageBand or wherever they're making music.
Gotcha.
The Ferris wheel actually splits on the screen into actual parts of a simple machine.
Okay.
I have this up still from the other day. I'm just going to pull up a video of the AR in action. Hear that?
Oh yeah, I can see that. And that's after they scan to get to that.
Right. So once they have the app, they've got the book, they're going to scan the page in the book. So the beautiful thing is kids are actually invited to color inside of this book. Like,
oh, really?
They get to be an AR artist. And then however they color the page, that's how the page comes to life with all of their colors. So you scan it. Once it turns blue,
Oh, look at that.
So you have 3 modes. The little colored doodle right here is to make it in color. So right now, how it's scanned would be if a child colored this, it pop up how they colored it. Facts about the Ferris wheel. So all of our pages have facts about simple machines, the history of the Ferris wheel. Then there's a game where they actually have to drag and drop the parts of a Ferris wheel together and assemble one. And then each component, when you click on it, there's a quiz where they can like verbally say what it is. So
Okay.
this
Awesome.
is yeah. So this is the drag and drop. And here's the part, the quiz built inside, where you have to kind of label each part. You just drag and you click on it, and it tells you what it is and what part of that simple machine, like the function it carries.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, while kind of segueing at ISTE last year, we did the Canva classroom live stream
Yep.
throughout the whole ISTE. We're doing it again at FETC. So anyone who wants to come on is welcome to come on. Maybe we could do a crossover.
Yeah, you had mentioned that before. I definitely like to do crossover and be a part of that, and just to be more immersed into it as well. I think it's really exciting, and just to be a part of it and see where we are. I think it's just a new world of education, and I think getting away from that daily grind or feeling like you're going nowhere, like you're just riding a mechanical bull and then you're ready to get thrown off at any time. Having these opportunities, or even bringing something in where you can bring Egyptian culture or Shakespeare to life, I think just adds that component into the work. That, or even one of my favorite actors, Jack Black, even have him come on, like somehow you can have or play, you're talking about games, one of the games we used to play is slapjack, and like all these different great things that you can do. At one point you didn't think you could do it, and just even in this short 28 minutes now, seeing what can be done in education is amazing. And we often think you have to stick a fork in education, but seeing this opens up doors, opens up windows, opens up the possibilities for students to really show their imagination, really have that opportunity to they could 1 minute be in the Mojave Desert and the next minute be on a roller coaster, and then you design it and they color it. There's so many different things with this that I'm just excited to hear more about it. And can you put your schedule up again, just so that we have everybody have an opportunity to see where
Absolutely. They can. And what you're looking at now, again, there's lesson plans that go with each of those pages. So even if you're doing a station,
okay,
for students, you're not one-to-one. You can print out those handouts and have students do that individually.
Oh, really? Right from okay.
Yeah, so all of those lessons are on quivervision.com. So, and they're free. Like you have access to all of the lessons, all of the augmented reality lessons. And there's over 130 different coloring pages, including landmarks. But here's my schedule.
Okay.
My first workshop starts at 12:30 on Tuesday, the 24th.
Okay.
My
awesome.
second one follows that. I'm in the same room. And then Wednesday, I believe I'm in the STEM theater.
Okay.
It is a let me click on it real quick. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, I'm in the Technology Discovery Theater booth.
Awesome.
And we so Quiver also has augmented reality. So we're rolling up a curriculum book. So they have I love my little.
I'm going to put you on the big screen so we can see it. Let's see it.
So this is my first handwriting workbook, and obviously this is green, so it's like
right.
But we have a handwriting workbook that teaches path of motion. So if you go into E, you get the elephant.
Okay.
Elephant facts. There's a phonics game where all the letters that spell elephant is like as you drag it, it teaches phonics and Path of Motion,
Okay.
and it's a phenomenal tool that we're piloting right now in districts. So be the first to hear it here. We gave away some copies at ISTE.
Look at that. We're breaking stories here.
We're going to be giving away copies in that tech theater. So
Okay.
if you're there'll be a limited number amount, but we'll be giving them away to anyone, especially the first 15 to 30 people who sit down will walk away with books.
Awesome. That is great. So one of the things I'm going to end on, because I ask all of our guests this last question. I mean, we learned so much. We just took a half-day workshop in 30 minutes here and all the great things. So if you are heading down to New Orleans, stay out of the swamp, get to the sessions, see Amanda and all the great things that she's doing. Many sessions, bookmark that on your app and check these out between the giveaways and the lessons and all the great opportunities. So the last question I always ask, and check out Teacher Goals. The Twitter's right there. Check out the website. Some great things coming up and seeing you do some great work, and some books will be coming out, and I look forward to seeing all of that. But the last thing I ask as we pull all of this together is, what does Stronger Together mean to you?
Stronger Together to me is about ideas and community. I know it doesn't matter. Everything that I make, every template I've ever made, just really anything that I've ever made, it's not as good before someone looked at it. Having insight and feedback of colleagues and having them come in and tweak stuff that I'm working on, and then working together to build new things. One of the things I'm most excited about is when I wrote the Canva Classroom, I kind of was my own little ship in the night, writing by not candlelight, but like computer light,
Okay.
by RGB light. We have 6 Canva books that are in the works, and we have a team of authors that we're kind of coming together and helping each other. So Stronger Together to me means giving a more inclusive, holistic idea or execution of anything that you're working on.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to see you in New Orleans. I haven't seen you since Austin, and seeing all this great work. And for those of you coming down, make sure to see Amanda and check out her work and everything that you are bringing down to the Big Easy.
Well, thank you for having me on. It was an honor and a privilege. And
well, thank you. And
another one at 8, so I'm going to be tuning in for that one.
All right. Well, you have a great evening, and we'll see you early in 2023.
Sounds great. All right.
Thank you.
Remember, not all gator tail is created equally.
Not all gator tail is created equal. That is one I'm going to remember for sure.
All right.
All right. See you. Thank you.